Are you just starting out on a plant-based diet and looking for some breakfast recipes that are super easy and that will keep you full until lunch? I am going to show you 4 fantastic breakfast recipes that are so versatile you can eat them every day of the week and never get tired of them. I'm Stephanie, and I've been making these recipes for the last 10 years and my family still loves them. I'm going to get started with the obvious, oatmeal. But don't skip past this thinking you already know how to make oatmeal. I've learned a new trick that helps me make oatmeal quickly without the oatmeal packets and without all the dirty dishes. But before we get to that, I wanted to let you know that I have a downloadable PDF that has 25 different oatmeal recipes, so you'll never get bored with oatmeal. It's in my description box below. The PDF also has other great recipes, tips, and tricks to stick with a plant-based diet, and 6 common mistakes that people make when they start a plant-based diet and how to avoid them. Just put a half cup of oatmeal into your bowl. Now this is quick cooking oats. They've been broken up into smaller pieces and they are lightly toasted so they cook faster. I'm just going to add a smidge of salt and a cup of water. The more you do this, you won't even need to have to measure. You'll be able to tell by sight how much water to add. Now I'm going to add some fruit. I want this fruit to be slightly cooked, so I add it now. If I was using fresh berries, I would add them later. But I live in Michigan and it's January, so frozen it is. I'm going to pop this into the microwave for 1.5 to 2 minutes. Now is a great time to habit stack. If you read the book Atomic Habits, you know what I'm talking about. It is available on Audible if you like to listen to books. The basic idea is this. A habit stack is when you put one habit on top of another. So we have the habit of making oatmeal every morning, so I have 2 minutes every morning. I could wait here and waste my time, or I can add another habit and use my time wisely. So with my 2 minutes, I like to do some squats or some stretching. Gets my blood moving in the morning. Oh, oatmeal's ready. It takes just a few minutes. I'm gonna give it a quick stir. I like to add some applesauce to this to make it sweet, or maybe a mashed banana, and that cools it off a little bit too, so it's ready to eat faster. I'm going to add a sprinkle of cinnamon and also some walnuts. This is a great breakfast that has all the nutrition you need to last until lunchtime. So, funny story, when I first went vegan, I was afraid of tofu. I avoided it like the plague, but the recipe I'm going to show you next is one I tried and it changed my mind about tofu. I love it because I can use it in so many different recipes. Breakfast burritos, breakfast tacos, breakfast quesadillas. I make it into a great breakfast hash with potatoes and vegetables, even cute little breakfast pizzas. It's easy to make and I can make it ahead of time and store it in the refrigerator. It's fantastic. We're going to start by adding onions and peppers to the pan. This is not necessary, but it's how I like to start because more vegetables are more better. And I'm just going to add 2 blocks of tofu. I don't mess with pressing the tofu in this recipe. It's totally unnecessary. And we just start chunking up the tofu. I get it all crumbled up and then I just let it cook a bit before I add any seasonings. To make prepping easier, I mix all my scrambled tofu seasoning up and keep some on hand, so all I have to do is add seasoning when I'm ready. I don't have to do any measuring at all. If you want measurements or you want the recipe for the seasoning mix, I'll put it in the description box below. You're going to see some videos that say scrambled tofu just needs to be cooked until it's warmed through. Well, that's not exactly true. If you just cook until it's warmed through, the tofu is going to be mushy and it's not going to taste as good. I like to cook it until it's brown, so we're going to keep this cooking for several more minutes. And there you can see the brown. That's what you're looking for. That is what's going to make it tasty. Alright, that's what you want it to look like when it's done. Now let's go make a breakfast burrito. Now if you want to turn this scrambled tofu into a hash, all you need to do is add some more vegetables. You can add some potatoes or even frozen hash browns work. You can add tomatoes, you can add greens, anything that you like in your hash. And that makes a fantastic breakfast. I love these tortillas for a breakfast burrito because they're really high in fiber. They only have 60 calories per tortilla and very little fat. So I'm going to make us a breakfast burrito. We're going to start with some seasoned black beans. We're going to add a little bit of the scrambled tofu. Look at that. Doesn't it look good? Now you can add anything you want to your burrito. You can include more vegetables, some avocado, some tomatoes, onions. But this right here gives you lots of protein, keep you full all day long. We're going to add some homemade salsa, and then some unsausages, which I'll show you that recipe a little bit later, and you're gonna love that one. All right, let's roll our burrito. That is a great breakfast burrito. That's a really good breakfast burrito, but you could also make it into a breakfast taco or a breakfast quesadilla. With breakfast quesadilla, I would use these tortillas again, and I would use some refried black beans. That'll hold the quesadilla together because there's no cheese to kind of hold it together. And you could put in there refried black beans, some salsa, some scrambled tofu, and sausages if you have them, and that will make a great quesadilla as well. To make the breakfast pizza, I like to add pizza sauce or even ketchup to a whole grain English muffin. It's not too hard to find the whole grain English muffins. If you look for them, they're right in the bread aisle. You can top that with some tofu, some shredded non-dairy cheese, or you can even mix a tablespoon of cashew cheese in with the tofu before you put them into the oven. They work great in a toaster oven, or even an air fryer would work. I'm going to sprinkle on some of this cheddar cheese. I'm going to pop this into the toaster oven. An air fryer will work, or even a regular oven. Just cook it until it's lightly browned. So the cheddar cheese does not melt, just be aware of that, but these are our cute little breakfast pizzas. These are really good. They're full of protein. They go great with a smoothie or a really nice fruit salad for a whole breakfast. You really should give these a try. These are really good. So there's one more way you can eat your scrambled tofu. Before we get to those unsausages, I want to show you one more breakfast that is easy to make. It's toast and a smoothie. For the toast, you're going to want to find some nice whole grain bread. It's going to add fiber and protein to your breakfast. Let's put that in the toaster. My toast, I take some almond butter. I like to spread my toast with some almond butter or some peanut butter. Try to get all the way to the edge so every bite tastes yummy. And then I'm going to add some applesauce. If you got homemade applesauce, that's great. If not, use the unsweetened from the store. And then I like to add some berries. Now again, these are frozen berries that I've thawed slightly because again, we're in Michigan and fresh berries are hard to come by. But there you go. You've got 2 servings of fruit, you've got a serving of nuts, and it's a great breakfast. But before it's done, I'm going to make a smoothie and get some more protein and some more fruit. If you want to change it up a bit, you could also add some avocado to your toast. I'll be honest, when I first heard about avocado toast, I was like, that can't be good. But it is so good. It will keep you full longer because of the healthy fats in there, keeps you satisfied. If you want to do a little extra, I have a recipe for Brazil nut gravy on the channel. I'll put a link in the description box below. It's really good with toast, avocado, this gravy, and some scrambled tofu. That is a fantastic breakfast full of protein and so good. That's a really old video, almost 10 years back. I still had brown hair back then. I'll put the link in the description box below. A great thing to eat with your toast is a smoothie. It will fill you up and keep you full until lunchtime. It will add protein and more fruits to your diet. So let's start with some banana. And then some blueberries and raspberries. You can also add strawberries. Any berries would be good. You can really change up your smoothie game by adding anything to this. You can add some protein powder if you'd like, or even a ½ cup of silken tofu. We'll add some protein and give it nice creamy texture. The last thing you'll want to add is some non-dairy milk. I like to use the unsweetened 30-calorie milk, but any milk will do. If you want something a little sweeter, some orange juice is really fantastic in this, or even a whole orange right into the smoothie will make it taste special. We do make a sunshine smoothie with all oranges and some tofu, and it's really good. I'll have to get that recipe for you sometime. Let's give it a blend. And here's another hearty breakfast full of antioxidants, fiber, and protein. Everything you need to keep full until lunchtime. It's really good. The combinations of toasts and smoothies is endless. You can make a different toast and smoothie any day of the week, so you'll never get bored with it. Finally, we're gonna make those unsausages. I've been making them for over 20 years and still my family begs for them. It's super easy to put together. It's just like making really thick oatmeal. And so they're healthy, and it's a perfect recipe when you're starting a plant-based diet, when you're looking for something savory for breakfast. To make our unsausages, all you need to do is add water to your pot just like you're making oatmeal, and then we're going to start adding some sausage seasonings. This is Bragg's Liquid Aminos. It adds saltiness. If you don't have Bragg's Liquid Aminos, you can use low sodium soy sauce, but I do like Bragg's better. It has a better flavor. And then you're going to go ahead and add 2 tablespoons of neutral tasting oil. This really only adds about 5 grams of oil to the whole recipe versus 70-some grams that you're going to have in a regular pork sausage. I like to add maple syrup to my sausages because I always used to dip my sausage in maple syrup when I was a kid, and now we add some nutritional yeast flakes. If you're unfamiliar with nutritional yeast flakes, this is what it might look like if you find it at a health food store or order it online. And that's great because it has a lot of B vitamins and adds a lot of savory flavors. We also want to add some onion powder. I use 1.5 tablespoons here. And then you'll want to add sage. I like to do a heaping tablespoon of sage because I really like sage. And then I do another tablespoon of Italian seasoning, some garlic powder, and also some cayenne pepper for a little zip. Once you've got that all mixed together, give it a stir and make sure everything's evenly distributed and let it come to a boil. Once you get it boiling, you can add your quick oats here. I don't like to use rolled oats because I don't like to use rolled oats because you can see them in the patties. They kind of disappear into the patty and they look more like a sausage patty. So stir those up, make sure they're completely covered, and then once it sits and cools for a few minutes, it'll look like this. And this is how we make our sausage patties. I use a 2 tablespoon cookie scoop to make my sausage patties, and I put them on a tray, set them a couple inches apart because I'm going to smash these down into patties. And so you'll want them to be a little bit apart. It takes a few minutes to scoop all of these out. It's going to make 3 trays like this, which is about 45 patties when you make them. You can freeze these patties if you'd like. Some people like to roll them into neat little patties. I like to just smash them with my hands or use the bottom of a glass. If you're doing that, you might want to spray your hands or your glass with cooking spray so that they don't stick. And again, you can freeze the dough in the freezer and then bake these fresh. They are better fresh. So let's stick those in the oven. Once they've cooked for about 15 to 20 minutes, you're going to want to take them out of the oven and flip them over. And then you'll stick them back in the oven for another 15 to 20 minutes. Our sausages are out of the oven and they look great. I can't wait to try them. They're so good. They have all the sausage flavor that you want without all that cholesterol and fat that you would get from meat sausage. I think I might have gotten a little carried away and made more than 4 breakfasts. But I hope that gives you some ideas of how you can mix and match and make a variety of breakfasts with just a few recipes. Don't forget to download the PDF on The Ultimate Guide to Going Plant-Based. It has 25 different recipes for oatmeal. And if you need some help with your lunch, check out this recipe here.